we present Highly Strung Hannah by Robert Chantler. This week, the first aid course.
Anna, Karen, thanks for coming in.
What's wrong? Are we getting the sack?
No, you're going to be the company's first aider for this department.
What an honour.
It is, and in keeping with your increase in responsibilities, you will both receive a small increase in salary.
Wow. Am I really the right choice? I mean, I don't do blood, or broken bones, or any injury at all, actually.
Well, you'll learn how to on the course. You'll be fine. I did think carefully about sending you, given your highly strung personality, but you are the obvious choice as office manager. Karen will be there to hold your hand, so to speak. I need you both qualified, so when one of you is away, we still have enough cover.
Wow. We've managed fine until now.
I know, but it is a new directive from Sir Charles. I mean, it makes sense. What if Margaret suddenly collapsed in the office? What would you do?
Get someone else. Panic! Run away!
Oh, you'll be fine. It's a one-day course. Emergency first aid at work. Wouldn't you like an extra qualification?
Yes, and the extra money would come in handy too.
Splendid. It's run by a chap called John from first aid training. I hear he's very good.
I want my Tim to come with me.
Well, I suppose if he's willing to go and there's a space, and if he's prepared to pay for himself, I don't see why not. What if he won't?
He will.
I'm sure if he knows what's good for him.
He does. And when he doesn't, I tell him.
Karen's going too. You won't be on your own.
I know, but it's a comfort thing. If Tim won't go, I won't go.
Well, let's worry about that when it happens, shall we?
He looks like a right one.
Just because you have a moustache, it doesn't make you Hitler. He might be very nice.
Like a sergeant major he is. I've never seen anyone so po-faced in my life.
Time will tell.
And look at the other students. They look a right lot.
Oh, have you met them yet?
I don't think I want to. Oh, I need a drink.
Please don't get drunk at lunchtime.
So, ladies, tea or coffee?
Tea, please. Milk and sugar.
Black coffee.
Hello, I like you.
Go away.
Sorry?
Ah, another student. Excellent.
Is this a queue for the drinks?
No, we're autograph hunters.
There's no need to be sarcastic.
There is with people like you around.
Karen, is there anyone here who isn't totally up themselves?
So, you must be Hannah and Karen.
Yes, I'm Hannah. This is Karen.
As you were together, I assumed you were from the same company. So, ready for some blood then?
Anna?
Oh dear, is she all right?
Well, you tell me.
Oh yes, of course. Lie her down and put her legs up.
She'll like that.
I heard that.
Sorry.
I think you might have some difficulty with the course if you faint so easily. Unfortunately, it goes with the territory.
Are you okay?
Oh, yes. I feel a bit silly. Fainting.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry. I'm glad you two are here. You look normal. The guys are weird.
We think so too.
Oh, I wouldn't want Mike touching me. I'd rather bleed to death.
Let's try and stay together as much as we can.
Agreed.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take our seats, shall we? Right, I'm John from First Aid Action. I'm your trainer today. I've been a first aider for years. I was an army medic too.
Told you, Sergeant Major.
For 11 years. Seen it all, done it all. Today, I'm going to teach you just enough to be able to cope with an emergency at work. The certificate is valid for 3 years. No exam, but you will be observed during the day, and at the end of the day, if I think you're suitable, I will pass you. I do not take bribes. I do not like people texting while I'm talking. And anyone who does will have their mobile phone rammed up their arse. Clear?
Sir! Yes, sir!
Don't be funny. I don't like that either.
Sorry. Couldn't resist that.
Class comedians, eh? First aid is a serious subject. We must treat it with due reverence, mustn't we?
Yes?
When I'm speaking, there will be silence. Although, if I make a joke, you may laugh. If you wish to ask a question, raise your hand and wait until I give you permission. If I ask a question of you, I don't just expect an answer. I expect the right answer. Okay?
I have a question.
Yes?
You're not going to be really bossy, are you?
No, just straight down the line. Now, you will be on the floor a lot today. Your knees will get used to it. Mine are like rocks. But then I spend a lot of time on my knees. Do you mind?
Sorry.
Hannah, behave.
Sorry, I'm just nervous.
We will be blowing into rubber dolls, tying each other up with bandages, and rolling each other around on the floor. Let's get to know each other first, shall we?
Well, I'm Hannah. I'm an office manager, which is why I'm here. But I was sent, and I had anything to do with injury and blood and stuff. And I'm really nervous. And when I'm nervous, I compensate sometimes with humour. Or just throw a wobbly. One or the other, or both.
I'll vouch for that. Wobbly as a weeble she is when she loses it. I'm her husband and I'm here for moral support.
Right. Welcome.
I'm Karen. I'm Hannah's second in command.
I'm Tina. I dispatch post for the courier company in Walton.
I'm Mike. And I'm
3p?
courier. Same company as Tina.
I'm Scott and I'm a Brickie.
I'm Frank. I'm a lay visitor from my local church.
Right, thank you. I hope you all enjoy the course.
I refuse to work with anyone other than Tim or Karen, or possibly Tina.
I won't work with Mike, definitely. He's always got his hands in his pocket and he's weird.
Suit yourselves.
Touch me, and my Tim will have you on the floor. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Shh, darling, don't put me in that position. I'm not Rambo.
You'll always be my Rambo.
Now let's begin by learning how to deal with an incident or accident at work should one arise.
Oh dear.
Not a real one.
Oh good.
Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever come across an accident I can't deal with, but it's never happened yet. If I ever did, I'll just ring 999 and stay out of the fray. That's what you must do too.
Right, thanks for the course. I'll do that. Bye.
That is not a default position. Minor injuries don't count.
Oh dear.
I believe I said earlier that it would be unlikely that you would come across an accident at work in 3 years.
Well, if you only believe you said it, maybe your mouth was on autopilot.
What?
It's all right.
Oh dear. I do crazy things when I'm nervous.
You should see her when she's had a few.
Men?
Drinks.
Oh yes. 3 vodkas and I'm on all fours.
Yes, a bit too much information there. Thank you. Right, now we need someone to make up an accident. Hannah, give me one.
What's your other chat-up line?
I mean, give me an accident.
Oh dear. All right. A man is coming down the stairs when he falls and lands on someone else who's carrying a hot drink. And they go flying and soak someone else who's passing by. Then this woman comes by and sees the chaos and has a panic attack.
You've missed your vocation. You should be writing casualty.
Could you sort that out?
Well, let's see. What would you do? 4 casualties.
Well, we'd be joining them if we weren't careful.
Well done, Tim. So we assess the situation and decide if we're able to help. Then we make the area safe.
Can you get someone else to help you do that?
Yes, common sense, isn't it?
Yes, I guess so.
You know why I like first aid so much. Why I live and breathe it.
Because you're sad?
No, because it's all common sense. Everything's logical.
Well, how do we choose who to treat first?
A, B, C.
We know the alphabet then.
The ABC rule.
What's that?
Airway, breathing, circulation. If there is a problem with the airway, it must be dealt with first. If it isn't, that person will stop breathing. If the airway is fine, we check their breathing. If they're not breathing, they'll have no pulse. So we resuscitate people who aren't breathing. If they are breathing, we check for bleeding and incontinence, and anything else can wait.
Okay, well, are they conscious?
Why?
Well, if they weren't, they'd be worse, wouldn't they?
Brilliant! They would. There, you see? Hannah has common sense. Well done.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, you're such a great teacher.
Thank you.
That was thorough. Did you find any piles up there?
Oh, shut up.
Unconscious people come first. You made up the accident, Hannah, so you decide.
They're all conscious.
Right.
So they must be breathing and have a pulse then.
Correct. Well done.
Well, it really doesn't matter then, does it?
Oh, yes.
Well, I'd probably try and calm the woman down with the panic attack, then I'd deal with the burns, then I'd check out the one who fell and the one he landed on.
Mm-hmm. Good. All agree?
Yes.
The woman with the panic attack is hyperventilating. Therefore, she has a breathing problem. The lady with the burns needs treatment because the hot liquid will carry on burning her until the clothing is removed or the heat is countered with cold water. We may not want the people involved in the fall to move, but they are alive at least, so they could wait. Now, we'll learn how to treat them later. Right now, who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters!
The ambulance services, Hannah. Call me an ambulance.
You're an ambulance. Sorry, I'll dial 999 and call you an ambulance.
Good. And say what?
Hello, can I have an ambulance, please?
Yes, and...
One with blue lights?
They all have blue lights.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I don't like being put on the spot.
All right. Tim?
How many casualties, what their injuries are, and where you are, I guess.
Excellent. Well done, Tim.
Thanks, darling.
Karen, how many casualties are there?
5?
4. Listen.
Sorry, treat me like a naughty schoolgirl, why don't you?
Don't give me any ideas.
Oh, Mike. Oh, Mike.
Oh, yes, forgot about him.
4 casualties. 1 fallen, 1 landed on, 1 burnt, and 1 having a panic attack. All conscious, all breathing, all adults. By the way, do you know what other numbers you can use to get an ambulance?
118, 118, but they'll charge you 60p a minute.
I see your wife's wit is contagious, Tim.
911?
Good.
112?
Well done, Hannah. How did you know that?
She read it in her book.
Shut up!
Oh, well, in any case, you are correct. 112. 112 is the best choice. Use it. It gets you a signal if your mobile is lost, and with GPS in your phone, your call is transferred directly to the nearest control center, and your exact location is known.
Excellent.
And it is free.
Right.
GPS is fab. I have a computer program that lets me know where my son is if his mobile's on.
Really? Work for MI6 in your spare time?
No, just being sensible.
I know. It was a joke.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Karen. Hi, darling.
I was with you at the pub, darling.
Oh, yes. I wondered who that was.
Did we all have a good lunch then?
Yes.
Me too. Big lunch. Might have been a mistake.
I had a nice lunch at the pub with my Tim.
Yes.
Well, the first topic for this afternoon is burns. I did have a video clip to play you, but luckily for Hannah, it won't play.
Good.
You burn yourself when something hot comes into contact with your skin. It could be a liquid, it could be a solid. What sort of burns are there?
Friction burns.
Yes, normally that one comes near the end of the list.
Don't be so embarrassing. It's bad enough you're drunk.
Nah, 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 nah.
Chemical burns.
Good?
Electrical burns?
Yes.
Flash burns?
Yes, very good. A good list there, and there are still others too. Now, how do we treat a burn? It's simple. If your skin is hot, you need to cool it down.
Don't you hold it under attack?
Usually, yes. For at least 10 minutes, maybe longer, and certainly for no less than that time. Now, if you burn certain parts of your body, you have to go to hospital. These parts are the face, hands, and feet, and genitals.
How would you run those under the attack?
How on earth do you burn your genitals?
Hair straighteners.
Yes, you realise you said that out loud then?
Whoops.
What?
Long story.
You could probably get Mike's genitals under a cold tap.
Yes, that's not a very appropriate comment, is it, Tina?
I spilled coffee in my lap once. I hear that's the usual cause for genital burns at work.
Yes, I understand that it is.
It is. I've also done that.
When?
Last year. Took a mug to the toilets, filled it up and poured water over them again and again. Made a lovely mess. Then I went to hospital, and no fewer than 3 nurses looked at them that day.
You never told me that.
I never told you I hit my head on a shelf last week. Do I have to tell you everything?
Sorry, I suppose not.
You're not jealous.
No, of course not. I can look at them any time.
Yes. Well, moving on.
Not that we spend all the time looking at each other's genitals, by the way. Just to make that clear.
Now, dressing a burn. The best thing to use is actually cling film.
Really?
Yes, it must only be placed over the burn loosely, and only when it's cool. But it protects, it moisturizes, and it prevents germs getting to the burn as it heals. So it's good stuff. The hospital will probably use fancier things, but for us, it's absolutely fine. Let's move on now to choking. Hannah?
I choked once.
Did you?
Yes, on a chopstick.
Okay. How?
I was pretending to be a walrus in the staff canteen. You know, using them as tests.
Why?
Internet connection was down. I was bored.
Right. Well, I won't forget you, Hannah. That's for sure. Drunk on a first aid course. Disgraceful. Have a copy and sober up before the practical work, for goodness sake. Now, You used hair straighteners on your pubic hair?
Has that only just registered?
Sorry, yes, it just came back into my mind.
Talk about embarrassing at casualty.
The nurses weren't embarrassed.
Only because there was a bloke in the next cubicle attached to a vacuum cleaner.
The mind boggles. Now, choking. And so we come to the thrilling denouement. The big topic of the day, resuscitation, also known as CPR.
I thought that was a football team.
Still ready with the wit, eh, Karen? I'd like to introduce you to Annie. She lives in a suitcase, with her legs over her head, and consequently doesn't breathe.
I wonder why.
There. She is going to be used by you to practice this life-saving technique. She is plastic now, not rubber, so you need not worry about allergies. However, feel free to use the face shield provided. It has a face drawn on it, so there is no doubt as to where it goes.
Except on Mike, who talks out of his arse.
Peter!
Well, I don't like him.
I'm sure he doesn't like you either. Now, resuscitation does two things. It circulates blood and oxygen on behalf of the heart and puts fresh oxygen into the lungs. We have to do it for the casualty because their heart and lungs are not working. Clear?
Yes.
To begin, make sure the casualty is not breathing. Then send a colleague for an ambulance and tell them that the casualty is not breathing. Then ask them to come back when they've made the call. Meanwhile, you begin resuscitation. Heel of one hand on breastbone, heel of one other hand on top. Kneel up, arms straight. Depress the chest 6 centimeters at the rate of 120 beats per minute, 30 times. Like this. Then you tilt the head back and lift the chin. Pinch the nose and blow twice into the mouth, like this. Then continue like this, 30 compressions, 2 breaths, 30 compressions, 2 breaths, and so on. Clear? Good.
I saw one without a face once in a village hall.
Did you?
Yes, looked like one of the Simpsons on speed.
They are weird without their faces, I'll give you that.
Creepy.
Now, get into groups. As you can see, there are some limbless Annies behind your chairs. So in 3 groups, 2 of 2 and 1 of 3, go to an Annie and practice.
These ones at the back will be the half-sisters then.
It's the way you tell 'em, Karen. Now, before we finish with some bandaging, are there any questions on resuscitation?
Can you blow into the nose too? Not that I'd want to.
Good question, Hannah. Yes, you can.
I only wondered because I was drinking some tea last week, and when I burped, some of it came out of my nose.
Yes, thank you. Next!
Can we use defibrillators? We have one at the labs.
In a public place, you can. The United Kingdom Resuscitation Council clearly say so in their guidelines. They're very easy to use. Just switch the machine on and do as it says. It's fully automatic and it only shocks people who need to be shocked, so it's also very safe. And the addition of a defibrillator into a resuscitation scenario greatly increases survival chances.
Good, thanks.
Now, bandaging. Unwrap your dressings. What you are holding is a dressing. There are small ones, medium ones, large ones, and extra large ones.
True, and I've had them all.
Thank you, Karen. Now, this is a medium dressing, most commonly used. Unwrap it to the pad like this, place the pad on the wound face down, and unwrap the rest of the dressing until the pad is covered, and then tie the 2 ends in a knot on the pad to apply maximum pressure. This makes it stop bleeding quicker.
What do you do if you haven't got a dressing?
Just ask the casualty to press on the wound and raise the part that is bleeding, or use whatever you have to hand.
Right.
Volunteer. Thank you, Karen. Round the mouth, is it? I will show you on Karen now how to do a simple limb dressing. Notice I keep the short end free to tie to the other end at the end. Notice I pull on the dressing as I unroll it because it's stretchy, and if I don't pull on it, it'll be too loose, and to be effective, it must be tight.
Ow!
Sorry. Now, to check it's not too tight, ask the casualty how it feels. See if their skin colour is the same both sides of the dressing. If not, loosen it. Now, your turn. So we come to the end of the course. Quite a day, and despite the jokes, jibes, and occasional incidents, I will pass you all. Goodbye, Hannah.
Bye, John. You know, when I first saw you, I thought you were a po-faced Sergeant Major type.
Ah.
And I was right.
Oh.
But it's been fun. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'll be sure to remember you.
Everyone does. Come on, Hannah, let's go home and you can tell Mr. Tiddles all about it.
Yes.
See you tomorrow, Han.
Yep, see ya.
I'm actually glad I came.
Me too. Oh, blah. A bit of John's moustache is in my teeth.
Oh, nice. In the first aid course, you heard Nanu Chumber as Hannah, Robert Chantler as Tim, Caroline Palmer as Karen, Geoff Buckingham as Tony, Heather Harrisson as Tina, Martin Clarke as Frank, Ray Pennock as Scott, Mark Hover as Mike, and special guest star Robert A. Hardy as John. Highly Strung Hannah was produced and directed by Robert Chantler, recorded by Martin Clarke, and was a free theatre company production.
Like a sergeant major he is. I've never seen anyone so poo-faced in my life.
Stop poo-faced. See the calibre of students you've got.
Nothing changes.
Should we go to the beginning of the scene?
Take it from the top.
He looks like a right one.
Just because you have a moustache, it doesn't make you Hitler. He might be very nice.
Like a sergeant major he is. I've never seen... Like a sergeant major he is. I've never seen anyone so... Oh, I'm going to have to stop a poo.